Hello again and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse and I am back for another iOS accessible app spotlight video. This time we are taking a look at another camera-based app, kind of a camera multi-tool as it were. It is called EMVI, E-M-V-I. It is currently free on the App Store.
EMVI. Double tap.
And
Settings button.
other than peeking at the settings really quick, I have never used this app before. I poked around at it a little bit just to see, how the controls worked and everything. But we are going to discover this app together and just see how it compares with some of the other camera-based apps that I have covered, like Seeing AI, Be My Eyes, Envision, Ally, all those types of things. The thing that sets this one apart is that it is pretty low vision friendly. You got this ginormous button here in the middle, to do your primary action. And then you have the settings button in the upper left. You have one, two, three, four buttons on the bottom, or four tabs across the bottom. And at first I was a little bit confused at how this works, because if I take voiceover here and I flick,
Start taking a picture. Settings button.
there's my settings, there's my first icon in the upper left.
Start taking a picture button.
And there's your start taking a picture button. And below that
Start taking a picture. Start taking a picture
is
button.
nothing. So you can't actually just flick to the different tabs like you think you would in many other apps. Instead, you use, if you're using voiceover anyway, you use your 3-finger swipe right and left to go between the tabs. So if I take 3 fingers and swipe left,
Start scanning a document button.
there's start scanning a document.
Start scanning a code button.
Start scanning a code.
Start asking your question
And
button.
then start asking a question. So in addition to being used for camera stuff, this mode here kind of works as, I don't know if I like, kind of like a chatbot AI type of thing, sort of like Ally, except these are different modes. Ally is more conversational freeform, where you can literally be in a live conversation and basically go from asking it something to having it describe something from your camera back to something else. This one, you're switching between modes like most of the other camera-based apps. And I think, yep, that's the last one. So we're just going to go through these in order, and we are going to test them.
Start scanning a document button.
And I don't know, let me
Settings
unmute
button.
this real quick
Control
just to
center.
make sure,
Mute. Switch button
like in
on.
case there's any like processing sounds that we should be hearing. Because really what I want to do with this is a little bit of a different way I'm doing this video. Usually I will, play with the app a bit and then I will cover it. But like I said, this is a pretty, at least for me, this is generally pretty familiar territory. I've covered a lot of different camera apps, and I want to see, how it differs, how it's similar, and how it performs in doing some tasks. So before we start doing our camera stuff, let's go into settings real quick.
Button.
And I should mention,
Back
you do
button.
have to register for an account within the app. You are prompted to do so the first time you open it. So I did create an account. And
Settings page. Heading. Account details button.
so account details, let me go in here
Jesse,
because
modify button. Jesse, modify. Just on 1 at 3, 6, 8 stars. 3, 6, 19, 8 stars. Modify.
okay, well, so we got our
Dark
account
theme.
there.
Switch. Account dark theme. Switch button. On. Dark theme. Switch
It
button.
starts
on.
out as a
Voiceover
light
mode.
theme,
Switch button.
which I was not really a fan of because there's a whole lot of white going on in the app right away. But you can thankfully switch to the dark theme. And actually, regarding that, let me go back
Button.
because on the
Settings.
main
Start taking a
screen,
picture.
the contrast is great for the settings button, the camera button. On the tabs across the bottom, though, I think that you know, if it shows like there's a slight, ever so slight accent to the first tab or the first button that we're on, the bubble. And I think that that should be a different color, something that really, it still stands out against the background, but it's it's very subtle. And as a low vision user, it looks like it's a little bit bigger. But I think actual a little bit different color that is different from the other three circles down there. I think that would also go that would also make it easier for the buttons to be, you know, be seen by a low vision user.
Settings
Let's pop
button.
back into settings real quick.
Back dark theme. Switch button.
So we got
On.
dark theme. I
Double
turn
tap to
that
toggle
on.
setting. Voiceover mode. Switch button. On. Double
Voiceover
tap to toggle
mode.
setting.
I don't know what the difference is like with voiceover mode on and off. I probably just, you know, so that navigation works a little bit better.
Tutorial button.
Tutorial. I'll go in here in a minute because it's short. It's just a few screens.
EMVI speech speed.
So you can adjust the speech speed. It has its own speech.
50%. Adjust. Increase EMVI speech. About EMVI button.
And then about EMVI.
Log out button.
Log out.
Delete account button.
And delete account. And that's it.
Tutorial button.
So let's go into the tutorial really fast. It's just a few text
tutorial heading
things here.
Welcome to EMVI. EMVI is your visual assistant, ready to support you. The tutorial starts as soon as you swipe to the next page.
Okay.
Button. Back.
I did a 3-finger swipe, and there is also a next button.
Photo function. 1. Press the blue button and hold the phone at chest height. A photo will automatically be taken within 3 seconds. 2. EMVI will then ask you what you want to do with the image. Tap the screen and give a clear instruction, then tap to confirm after giving the instruction. 3. Receive immediate visual support or additional explanations. Try it yourself and discover how EMVI enriches your experience.
Okay, so that's the photo mode, which we'll try momentarily.
Reading button. Back. Reading function. 1. Press the blue button. Within 3 seconds, EMVI will automatically take a photo. 2. EMVI will read the text directly. An additional option is to summarize the text, ask targeted questions, or translate. Try it now and discover how EMVI makes text accessible. Tip: hold the camera at arm's length for the best result.
Okay. So if you're familiar with you know, doing OCR or scanning a document from any other app, it's probably going to be a very similar process to that.
Scan button. Scan function. Scan QR codes and discover additional information. 1. Press the button. 2. Point your camera at the QR code. 3. Let the scanner do its work and explore what the QR code has to offer. Tip: ensure the QR code is fully visible and clearly in the frame.
Do I have anything with the barcode? I think I can go grab something that's fairly nearby real quick.
Button. Back. Speech input page. After taking a photo, you will automatically land on this page to speak an instruction. The speech feature is not dependent on a photo. You can also use it to search for information on the internet. 1. Press the button. 2. Speak your question or instruction. For example, ask, "What do you see?" 3. EMVI will provide the relevant answer. Navigate between the 3 pages by swiping left or right. Tip: ask specific questions to get specific answers.
Okay. So it can, but it doesn't require use of the camera. So I don't know what sources or where it goes to look for information. If it's using like an AI model, if it just goes out to Google and a few sets of other services. But that's that microphone button that we saw. And I like how they have the smaller versions of the buttons at the top of the screen for low vision users. You see the microphone button on this screen, just like you would with the other one. So that's it. And
button back.
Button back. Okay.
Tutorial button.
And we will back out of that.
Settings button.
And let's try this. So I think what they're going for here is, you know, some people are a little bit overwhelmed right now with things like Ally they're very, very cool, but you know, everyone's used to having these different modes for things. So it's like, oh, if I go here, I can read a document. If I go here, I can take a picture and have, something described. You know, because so many times in a couple of the other betas that I've been in, it's like, oh, well, how do I do this? How do I do this thing? Where's the button to do this? Or where's the mode to do this? And it's like, no, you just do it. This one is just a really clear, you know, simplified way to make that happen. So a newer tech user, this might be a good app for them to start out with, and then they can grow into some of the other apps if they need more variety and different functionality. So let's go ahead. I am going to just
Start taking a picture. Button.
Snap ye old photo
Button.
here. Oh,
EMVI would like to allow.
see,
EMVI needs access to the camera to take a picture. Allow.
yeah, of
Button.
course it does. Okay, we'll do
3.
that.
Cancel automatically taking a picture. 1.
Okay.
Photo captured. Start asking your question.
How can I help you with this image?
Okay, so let's
Start asking your question.
start
Button.
asking my question.
Finish your question.
Please describe the image and what we are looking at.
Finish your question. But finish your question.
The image shows a gaming setup in a dimly lit room. A wooden table holds a gaming controller, cables, a box labeled Super, and small electronic devices. To the right, there's a desktop computer with blue LED lights and a monitor displaying a game or application. In the background, a television with books and gadgets nearby sits near a plush red cushioned office chair with a cute animal design. The room has beige walls, a lamp, and a doorway leading elsewhere, creating a cozy atmosphere.
Okay, that was a very detailed thing. So interestingly, I noticed that it left us on the microphone screen, so it didn't go back photo screen for me to take a picture. So I'm assuming now I can ask it a follow-up question. So like, let's see if I
Start
say,
asking your question. Button. Start asking your question.
tell me more about the plush figure in the office chair.
Finish your question. Finish your question.
The plush cushion on the office chair is shaped like a star or heart and features a cute animal face and ears. It adds a whimsical and cozy touch to the gaming setup, enhancing the personalized atmosphere of the room.
Okay, well, actually, it's kind of funny that it was probably, well, yeah, it's at a different angle, so it's a little bit tricky to see that from the position that I am. But that is my little cacodemon plushie. So cute, I guess. A flying meatball that shoots fireballs and tries to chomp your head. That is the cute version. But yeah, that is the cacodemon plushie I covered in a Geek Loot Spotlight video earlier. So let's go ahead and do our three-finger swipe.
Start scanning a code. Button. Start
Uh,
scanning a document. Button. Start taking a picture. Settings.
oh,
Button.
interesting. Now, what I noticed, I didn't notice this
Start taking a
before.
picture. Button.
The
Start scanning a
settings
document.
button,
Button.
if you're ever curious and want to change something, this is something that I would probably also change. Because I noticed, you noticed that speech was very slow. We're going to crank that up just a little bit because, I mean, we don't need to make it super fast, but make it a little bit quicker. The settings button is only available on the camera screen. I think that should just be left up there in the upper left, no matter what screen you're on. Just for consistency. And it's like, well, wait, where did my settings button go? I was confused for a second myself. So let's
Settings.
go
Button.
ahead and let's crank
Back.
this baby up a
50%.
little bit
Adjustable.
here.
Decrease MVs 50%. Adjust 60%.
Let's try 60 and see how that goes.
Back. Button. Back. Settings. Button.
So let's let's do. I'll take one more picture and we'll just see how it goes. We'll do more of a
Start taking a
close-up
picture.
here.
But 3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. 1. Photo captured. How can I help you with this? Start asking your question. Button. Start asking your question. Finish your question.
Please describe the image.
Finish your question. Finish your question. The image shows a wooden surface with gaming items. A blue and black gaming controller is at the center, featuring joysticks, a directional pad, and action buttons with a blue light. To the left, there's a partially visible device with a reflective pink surface. A gray gaming controller and a black case are at the back left. Also, there's a white box labeled EMVI M.2 SSD, indicating packaging for a solid-state drive. The setting suggests a casual gaming setup with moderate lighting and some blue reflections.
Okay, so that one's a little bit, they were off on the box. It's not an SSD. They might have misread that a little bit. It's actually an external optical drive because I don't have an internal one in my current desktop rig. So it got most of it right. If I ask a follow-up question, see,
Start asking your question. Start asking your question.
can you tell if the controller is on?
Finish your question. Start asking your question. The gaming controller in the image has a blue indicator light on, suggesting that it is powered on.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to ask some follow-up questions. Now, what I am curious about is because we are on the microphone thing, do I have to just keep asking questions about the image that I took? Or can I just...
Start asking your question. Start asking your question.
What's the weather going to be like for this weekend in Minneapolis, St. Paul?
Finish your question. Finish your question. I recommend checking a reliable weather service or app for the most up-to-date forecast for Minneapolis St. Paul this weekend.
Oh, okay. Let's see, what else could, let's see, let's just
Start
ask.
asking your question button. Start asking your question.
What can you tell me about the Low Vision store in St. Paul, Minnesota?
Finish your question. Finish your question. Low Vision Store in St. Paul, Minnesota, specializes in products for individuals with visual impairments. They offer a range of items like magnifiers, reading aids, and adaptive technology to assist with daily living. It's recommended to contact them directly for specific product availability and store hours.
Okay, so it is a little more vague, and it's going to be interesting just to see what type of questions that it can answer well. So let's just go back to another screen here. So we've done pictures.
Start scanning a code button. Start scanning a document button.
Okay, I've got a
Settings
document
button.
on
Start taking a
my
picture button. Start scanning a document
other
button.
part of the table here, my other part of my desk. Let's go ahead and do this.
Start scanning a document. 3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. 1.
Okay, we took a picture.
Start asking your question button. Let's get started. Now that you're enrolled in a Health Partners plan, follow these simple steps to set yourself up for success. 1. Log into your online account ***. Use the MyHP app to have all your information in one easy place. Get started at healthpartners.com/signin. Have your member card handy as you might need it to sign up. 2. Put the nurse in your contacts
Okay, I
for
already
24/7
noticed a
advice.
problem here.
Careline services are available for at-home treatments and to help you figure out the best place to get care. Call 612-339-3663 or 800-551-0853 for assistance. 3. Schedule your first appointment ***. Call us with questions, big or small, about your health or coverage needs. See if you're on track to meet your medical goals. Following these steps will ensure you make the most out of your Health Partners plan.
So, the problem that I see here is, yes, we have a question that we can ask follow-up, or we have the microphone button, we can ask follow-up questions. And actually, this could kind of go for any of these modes. What I would like to also see, you don't want to clutter up the interface. I get that. You don't want to make things complicated. But I think there should be maybe 2 buttons above the microphone. At least 2. One would be a play pause, because I really couldn't do anything until it finished babbling that whole document, which was fine, but sometimes you want to stop it. And the other one would be a repeat button, because it is telling us this information in all these modes, but it is not giving us any text or anything, so I can't just use VoiceOver to touch it and review it if I wanted to. So there's no way to get the information now. If I just said, could I, let's try it. So let's say, could I repeat that?
Start asking your question button. Start asking your question.
Can you please reread that?
Finish your question. Start asking your question.
Hello?
Start asking your question button.
Okay.
Start asking your question.
Please reread that.
Finish your question. Finish your question.
Okay, so apparently that doesn't seem to want to work. So I would have to go back to my document mode button again, and then retake the picture. Where it's like, well, maybe I held the camera a little bit differently this time, and I got a really good picture last time. I just want to be able to hear it again. I mean, this is great because it is simple, but I think even for beginner users, people are going to want to be able to play pause, and they're going to want to be able to repeat what has been said. And especially, again, I went from 50 to 60% of that voice speed, And for some users, like, I mean, to me, it still seems reasonably slow, but I don't know if this is too fast for some people. But if I go in and let's say I start hearing the text and, oh, it's too fast or it's too slow, having that settings button in the upper left for all these screens and then having a play pause and a repeat button, I think would go a long way. I think those are three things they could do for the interface. And then again, making that color change for that the bottom circles on the bottom across the bottom. So that one didn't work out quite so well. I would have to take another picture, but the accuracy was good.
Start
Let's
asking your question.
try.
Button. Start asking your question.
What were the phone numbers on that page again?
Finish your question. Start asking your question.
Yeah, so let's try this again because I have a feeling, I don't know if it's just not responding to anything.
Start asking your
Let
question.
me take
Button. Start
another,
scanning a code. Button. Start scanning a document. Start scanning a document. Button.
let's do this again.
3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. 1. Start asking your question. Let's get started. Now that you're enrolled
Okay,
in a
it's
Health Partners plan,
reading.
take a few simple steps to start asking your questions. Button. Finish your question.
What are the phone numbers on this page again?
Finish your question. Start asking your question. The phone numbers on the leaflet are 612-339-3663 and 800-551-0859.
Okay, yeah, that did definitely get a bit fast. Um, so now let's try.
Start asking your question. Start asking. Finish your question. Button.
Can you please reread that document?
Finish your question.
Nope, that seems to break it. So when I asked it a follow-up question, it was fine and it told me the phone number, but it didn't. But when I tried to have it just reread it, it just broke itself and now it probably won't respond anymore. So that's interesting. That's something they might also want to look at. It's like, especially if there is no replay button, having it reread aloud again, it should understand that command to say, hey, could you reread this page to me? That seems pretty straightforward. So now, let me get up for a second here and grab. I've had these for a few days, but yeah, we got a barcode here. And we are going to look at its barcode feature. So I am going to...
Start asking your question. Button. Start scanning a code. Button.
So we can do barcodes and QR codes.
Button. Start asking your question. Button.
It found it pretty quick. I like the little calming music. It's
Indulge
kind
in
of
the
nice.
irresistible M&M's peanut butter party size, perfect for sharing or satisfying your sweet cravings alone. Packed with rich, creamy peanut butter encased in the classic M&M's candy shell, this treat combines sweet and savory flavors in every bite. With a balanced mix of 150 kilocalories
Yeah,
per
it
serving,
does.
16 g of carbohydrates, and 13 g of added sugars, it's ideal for those occasional indulgences. Enjoy the crunchy texture and delightful taste with 8 g of fat and 5 g of saturated
Don't
fat per
mind if I
serving,
do.
while being mindful of dietary needs. Please note this product's nutritional profile includes 3 g of proteins and 1 g of fiber per serving, but lacks essential vitamins and minerals like calcium and iron. Treat yourself to a party in every bag with M&M's peanut butter, perfect for any occasion.
Peanut butter M&Ms. I love these things. That's why I very rarely buy them because they are so good. Yummy. So yeah, it recognized. It was interesting that it actually read. It didn't just identify the item, but it literally just rattled off the whole packaging information. I almost want to. Let me go grab something from my kitchen because I want to get something that if I'm cooking something. We'll grab a box here. God bless wireless headphones, right? Okay, so I've got a box. And where is the barcode on this thing? Well, Wait, no, there's got to be. Oh, there it is. That's the other challenge. I mean, if you're totally blind, is finding where they put the barcode. Sometimes it's on the back of a box. Sometimes it's on the side panel. Sometimes it's on the bottom, which is where it is on this in this case. So what I'm going to do is, even though I know where it is, I'm going to see. I don't think there's like a time limit like there is in the other ones where after 3 seconds it takes the picture. This one, I think it'll just do its thing until it finds the barcode. So I'm going to try scanning a few different sides of the box and see how this works.
Start scanning a code button.
And I want to know if I'm going to get the cooking instructions read to me.
Start scanning a code.
So let's start.
Button.
We got a box, nothing. We got the side, nothing. Top, nothing. Okay, how about the bottom? Wow, it picks that up quick. Super quick.
The Betty Crocker Beef Pasta Box offers a convenient and quick meal solution, featuring a rich pasta combined with flavorful beef stock and seasoning. With its simple preparation, it's ideal for busy individuals or families seeking a hearty, satisfying dinner option without the need for extensive cooking. This pasta blend is enriched with essential vitamins and minerals like niacin and iron. Containing no added sugars and low in cholesterol, it also provides 9.4 g of protein per 100 g. For an energy-packed and comforting meal, the Betty Crocker Beef Pasta is a reliable choice to keep on hand in the pantry.
So interestingly, it said beef pasta, but it didn't say hamburger helper beef pasta, because that's what it is. And it didn't give me, it just gave me the blurb, but...
Start asking your question. Finish your question.
What are the cooking instructions?
Finish your question. Finish your question. This leaflet doesn't contain cooking instructions. It provides steps for new enrollees in a Health Partners plan. It covers logging into your account, adding a nurse for 24/7 advice, scheduling preventive care, and calling with questions about coverage.
Oh. Okay, that's kind of bad. Huh. So a barcode doesn't count toward... Oh, interesting. So, the leaflet, basically the little leaflet that I had for the health partners that we looked at for the document. That's interesting. So it didn't look back and try to get more information based on the barcode. It went back to the most recent document image and looked for cooking instructions there. So that's kind of annoying, actually. Because, like, again, seeing AI, you get a picture of the barcode, it tells you what the product is, and then there's a more info button where, depending on the product, what they have in their database, where EMVI is getting its little product information blurb. Because again, it said beef pasta, but it didn't say hamburger helper beef pasta. So maybe not quite as good at the moment, but let's say that I want to. Now I could try this a couple different ways. I could either just take a picture of the back of a box and then ask it a question, which is maybe what I'm going to start first, because then I don't care about the other information on the back of the package versus being a document. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's go back to our first camera mode.
Start asking your question. Start scanning a code button. Start scanning a document button. Start taking up settings.
Okay,
button.
so we're going to
start taking a picture button. 3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. 1. Photo captured. How can I help you with Start asking your question button.
Now that's another piece of feedback I would have. I would also, like, there's the voice slider for speed. Have a slider for the amount of time before it takes a picture in the camera and the document mode. So maybe, again, I'm holding the phone and I had to really quickly grab my, because I had to grab my box to take a picture of it here. because I wanted to do it where there wasn't glare or other documents in the way. A lot of people, especially totally blind users, are gonna need more time. So have a slider for increasing, maybe even between 5 and 10 seconds if somebody really needs that time to steady themselves and line up an image. But now let's ask our question.
Start asking your question. Finish your question.
What ingredients do I need, and what are the cooking instructions to make this?
Finish your question. Finish your question. You will need a pound of ground beef, milk, and water, along with pots and pans. The cooking instructions include 3 main steps. First, brown the meat. Second, stir in the sauce, mix in pasta. And finally, simmer the mixture. Feel free to add your own twist with additional ingredients.
That's mostly good, but again, we have a problem. Beef, water, and milk. Or what did it say? Beef.
Start asking your question. Start asking your question.
How much of each ingredient do I need?
Finish your question. You will need a pound of ground beef, milk, and water. The cooking instructions are to brown the meat first, then stir in the sauce, mix in pasta, and finally, simmer the mixture.
Okay, actually, now that I realize this is actually still not good because, yeah, I need 1 pound ground beef. I still don't know how much water and milk or whatever, and I don't know how long. It's like, oh yeah, it doesn't tell me how long I need to simmer it for. It just said, oh yeah, brown the burger, put this in, blah blah blah. Like it didn't. It's too much of a summary. So if you want to get cooking instructions, at least in its current form, this is it's got a ways to go, unfortunately. So with that in mind, I guess
Start scanning a code.
Let's
Button.
try it the other way.
Start scanning a document. Button. 3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. 1. I'm sorry, the text seems to have significant recognition errors and it's difficult to understand. Here's an attempt to clarify it. Add your own twist and variables for storing. Looking for more ways to refresh meals? Visit hamburgerhelper.com. If this wasn't the intended message, I would need more context or a clear scan.
Okay, yeah, I am sort of low lighting here.
Start scanning a code. Button.
It like the white paper. See, this is a dark.
Start scanning a document.
It's a dark box. Let me pop on my pole lamp here. And again, that's what people have to remember. Well, I don't know if that helped all that much. But, that's the thing, is you got to remember that you have to have adequate lighting to take a picture. So let's...
Start scanning a document. Button. 3. Cancel automatically taking a picture. 1. Start asking your question. You're better on twist. Look no more when you add a dash with hamburgerhelper.com.
No, it does not like this weird red colored box. I think it's reading that little part at the bottom left, if I had to guess. Huh. Because let me close this app and
double tap to open.
Let me open up ye old trusty magnifier here. And then let me grab the box so you can see what we're looking at here. So, 1 lb ground beef, 2 1/3 cup hot water, 1 cup milk. Wow, that's a lot of milk. Dang. So, I mean, that's clear text. I mean, yes, it's arranged in an interesting way, so it would be interesting to see how like other apps or AI would process that if they were looking at the actual text. But look at this, you got brown burger, brown the meat, stir in, yeah, and then simmer. So how long do we got to simmer? Reduce heat, blah blah blah. Okay, 10 minutes. So okay, so once you get the thing boiling up, okay, so 10 minutes, stirring occasionally. Okay, yeah, so Reading packages, maybe not so much.
VoiceOver on.
It's a
Blindness folder.
good
35 apps.
start. I
Double tap to
like the
open.
simplicity of the app. And that's why, again, I thought it was really fascinating to start from scratch and just see how this app does compare to what we're already familiar with. I like the simplistic design. It could work pretty well as an entry-level camera multi-tool app for both blind or low vision users. I like the big buttons, so I'm thinking like for like seniors or really new technology users or people who really sort of struggle with more complex apps, this could work well. But as I described earlier, I think there could be a few more refinements to the interface, having a play pause and a repeat button, having it, when I asked, I mean, if you have the repeat button, it wouldn't really matter as much. Well, but you'd still want to be able to, like, if I use the microphone to say, could you please repeat that? Because maybe somebody has a motor or physical disability where it's easier for them, or they want to ask it, slightly, could you read that? And then have a little, like, add a little bit of requirements to it. Like, could you read it from the top, or could you read it from the point where it says blah, blah, blah? I could see that working well. But like I said, it gets freaked out and just stops responding when I try to have it read again. The barcode thing it just doesn't give enough detail. And you can't, like, yeah, it'll read you the marketing blurb. When I tried both pieces, both food items, it looked at it read the blurb,
Land of Livia.
but it didn't give any of the cooking information. And even when I tried to do it via the document mode or the take a picture mode, it really struggled. And I mean, yes, it's a dark colored box, but really, like the text, it's good contrast. You got white text here. The font isn't really screwy. I can see it pretty well with with the magnifier on my phone if I visually look at it. So it's a clean enough format. So it's not. I don't think it should really be much of a problem. So yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings. Like in some ways, it's really nice on a basic level. But again, there are so many other apps out there right now. A lot of them that I've mentioned near the beginning of the video. And especially if you kind of get the idea that you don't have to go between different modes. And I think there's a couple things I want them to clean up as far as image recognition and hallucinations for Ally. Once they get that a little bit more under control, just literally being able to start up an Ally, not have to hit any buttons, and just talk to it. It's like, read this document to me, or what are the cooking instructions on this box? You could just ask, what is this box? And I don't have to worry about finding a barcode. So yeah, I mean, it's great to have multiple tools in your toolbox, and this could be one. And I think it could be one to watch. Of course, every app gets updated regularly these days, so they could improve some of these things, fix some of these things. But that is a look at EMVI, EMVI. It is available in the iOS App Store. Not sure about Android, but I know it's on iOS. Anyway, hope you guys found the video helpful. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a like if you did. You can follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, Blue Sky at Illegally Cited, illegally-cited.com, and of course right here on YouTube. Until next time, I will chat with everybody again later.